Yeah. So, hi, I am Eva Gonzalez. A lot of you guys already know me. I'm Eva Gonzalez with Team Out of 8. And something that I started doing was interviewing different business owners, especially having to do with things about the home, right? Different things that we can do with our home. And a couple of years ago, George and I decided to put a new roof in our house because it really needed it. So we contacted several people and got about 5 or 6 quotes, can't remember right now. And one of them that we called was this gentleman over here, Ruben Collado, and he is with ARC Roofing. And the reason why we called Ruben was because we knew him from our church. Our kids went to school together at St. Timothy, and he was just, hold on, roofers, we're going to call Ruben. So thank you, Ruben, for being here. And I just want, to thank you for your time and also just ask you a little bit about ARC Roofing. Tell me about the company, how long you've been in business, etc.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Eva, for allowing us this opportunity to share with your audience, a little bit about what we do and anything that we can do to help them out. But basically, my company is ARC Roofing Corporation. We've been in business since 2006. As a matter of fact, I think in about 11 days, we'll have our 17th year anniversary. So we're very proud of that. We do mainly residential roofs. We also do commercial, about an 80% residential, 20% commercial. We specialize in metal roof, concrete tile roof, clay tile roofs, shingle, and primarily flat built-up roofing systems. We have an office here located close to the Tamiami Airport. So we service, the surrounding areas and pretty much all of the state of Florida. We're a state license, and so we can actually work in different parts, and we have at times. But primarily we like to stay in our backyard. And as you mentioned, we replaced your roof. I think it was right before the pandemic or right around the pandemic.
Right around that. I think you quoted us before the pandemic started, and then you had ordered the materials. So
that's right.
Because then it got a little crazy.
I think you were one of the ones that actually got it quicker than everybody else, but it really got really bad with supply chain issues and all that. But thankfully, everything worked out well. Your roof looks beautiful, and what I always say is that we try to provide a roofing system for a customer for aesthetic purposes to have a nice curb appeal. But I believe my job as a roofing contractor and any other roofing contractor should be to focus on the items that you really can't see, which is the more important ones, to keep it watertight and make sure that all the seals are correctly done. We did find a lot of damaged wood in the backside of your home. That's one of the things that I'm not, it is what it is. It's sometimes people cut corners, and it's a shame because things that should be done aren't done. And then what happens a few years down the road, you start having problems, and unnecessarily. Right. But basically, yes, we are a full service roofing company serving the South Florida area market.
And when you mentioned that about the roofing, when we did like I said, we got a few quotes. I remember that you were kind enough to sit down with us because George just wanted to know, why is this when you weren't the most expensive? That was good, right? So you weren't the cheapest, you weren't the most expensive. However, we just wanted to understand why the difference in the pricing. And I think one of the things you're saying, look, this one particular one, for example, was just one page, just a few lines.
Yes.
This person didn't put this and this and this, the different things. And one is that if we find wood that's rotted from the previous roof job, all the damage, years of the roof, we're going to replace it. We're not going to, and those things are not on here. So you gave us all that information. You also, it's a question that I was going to ask you, but about permits, right? And what are they looking for? And one of the things that you even did for us, I'm saying for us, I'm sure you do it for others, take pictures of certain, right, the nails or certain measure
Yes.
the brackets, blah, blah, blah. See how much I know about roofs?
No, that's very good. Very good.
Um, but that's important, right? That's important for
Definitely.
the permits. It's important for our insurance company.
Correct.
So tell me a little bit about that, about when somebody's getting a quote, things that they should be on the lookout for.
Yes. So basically, the permitting process is you know, we're in Miami-Dade County primarily, where your home is located. So Miami-Dade County is pretty good with the permitting process, and they're able to provide that quickly. There's different inspections that are required. What we like to do is, as soon as we pull a permit and we schedule the start date, we like to do a couple of inspections that we're allowed to do, but on the same visit. So what happens is that we have to ensure that all these different items are done or started by the time the inspector comes out, so that they could take a look at how we're doing, you know, properly sealing things, adding enough tin caps, and securing the felt in the proper way. Miami-Dade County has one of the most stringent uplift pressures in the country, if not the most, actually. The building code is very stringent with uplift for hurricane purposes. So that's a very important thing. Me, as a roofing contractor, I actually have to sign an affidavit saying that we actually updated the roofing nails to fasten your wooden deck. Once we tear everything off and we have the wooden deck exposed, I have to go in and re-nail that wood down to the current code. So the current code doesn't only require the amount of nails spaced out in a specific, you know, every 6 inches, but it also requires that the nails that are used are ring shanked. So what happens a lot, unfortunately, it is what it is. I'm just letting you know what happens is that people tear off a roof and they say, oh, look, it has, you know, the correct amount of nails. Let me not nail it. But that's not correct, because the roofing contractor signed an affidavit saying that he made sure that that there was enough nails and that there were the correct nails. So you have to re-nail the whole decking. And I know, unfortunately, some people do it because they may not know, but that's not correct. You know, I always say, you know, a little bit of my background, you know, and I guess I'm jumping around a little bit, but I grew up in this industry. My father had a company here since '69 and all through the 70s and 80s. And I grew up as a little kid. I had to work. And back then he would work like 7 days a week. You know, he had a lot of different crews. So weekends, holidays, you know, vacation time away from school and all that, I had to work. So I grew up in the industry. I turned 18 and I decided to go to the Army, and I left my father high and dry. Make a long story short, I had a career in federal law enforcement, and I ended up retiring. I did almost 30 years. And right before that, since I was able to retire a little bit early, I opened up the roofing company in 2006. And that's where everything started. And I think it's a full circle. You know, I started in roofing and I came back to roofing, you know, and I just love it. So not only do I have the roofing part of it, but I think I've been trained, you know, it is what it is, through law enforcement to, you know, if this is the way it has to be done, this is the way we're going to do it. So I've been able, you know, to employ a lot of those things that I learned, you know, in the military and in law enforcement into the business. And, you know, training protocols that we do. You spoke about building code. One of the things that we do is we look at the building code as a starting point, not as the bare minimum. So we've implemented a lot of procedures and systems that, you know, through the years, we've identified what are the problem areas in roof, you know, different type of roofs. So we've actually implemented specific additional procedures that we do to ensure that we prevent you know, future damage in these areas that are prone to damage if left the way that the current building code says, you know. And it's you know, roofing practices, you know, throughout the United States and all that's taken into consideration. But you know, we've come to learn a lot of these little things that we do, and we actually train here in our office. Everybody that works for us they know how we
Through that
seal,
training, right?
and one of the things that happens is that since we do commercial work as well, repairs, we are able to identify our repairs, maybe even if it's 5 years later, we can go to a place and I'll be able to tell you
Who did
that
what?
is not ours. This one is, because of the way that we do, it's like a signature repair.
Yeah, yeah.
And we do it because it's not too much more, but it gives us the opportunity to give a better warranty
Right.
on the repairs and on the job itself, so we like to go a little bit further than what the code requires, when it's warranted. The code is very strict here in South Florida, but there's a few things that we tweak, and we're very proud of that we go that extra step.
That's
It doesn't cost us much, but
Yeah.
it helps the customer and it helps us as well.
I think is your name on the line, your reputation. You want to go beyond, above and beyond what is required, just because of your pride. You have pride in your work, right? That's
Yes.
what it sounds like. And another thing, as you were talking, it's funny sometimes people, let's say we're looking for a realtor, let's say, right?
Mhm.
And I just tell them, look, great, you call me or didn't call me, whatever it is, but definitely not all realtors are made the same.
Exactly.
So just the way you were just explaining, not all roofers are made the same.
That's
Just,
right.
some people might cut corners or whatever, whatever it may be. And then what is that saying? You pay what you get, what you pay for,
Mhm.
and we see that in our line of business all the time. It's like, oh my God, you could have gotten whatever, it's more money for your property, or it could have been sold quicker, or whatever. And they're like, really? Yeah, but your realtor didn't do X, Y, and Z, right?
Yes.
So I'm sure you see that in your line of work as well.
No, yes, it's
So you mentioned, so I had asked you about the roofing materials and installing. You've mentioned some things. So what you do, right? The shingle, the barrel, flat, metal. Regarding all those materials,
Mhm.
what are the advantages and disadvantages, for example, of each one? I mean, we don't have to go into super
Yeah.
detail, like shingles, barrel roof, barrel tile, right? And you mentioned clay.
Yes. Typically, what people refer to as barrel tile is what Miami had here in 80% of the houses, which was the Spanish clay barrel tile, which is basically like a clay tile. That is still around, although a lot of the manufacturers are no longer exist, but they do make those tiles, which they're very, very good, high quality tiles. They're a little bit prone to breaking if somebody walks on your roof that doesn't know how to walk on that type of tile. So I'd say from order of best, or I don't want to say best, but that withstands longer time, serviceability, I'd probably rank the metal roof, as long as it's installed correctly and the material is from an actual manufacturer from the United States. Unfortunately, we've seen metals from different countries that begin to rust prematurely, and people have been selling that. And I've seen a few of those roofs that it's shocking. But nevertheless, metal roofing, I installed correctly, I'd say it's the most that has the longest life, serviceable lifespan. This is followed by a tile system. Again, depending on you, if people are going to walk on your roof, I'd probably go with a concrete tile. If
There's a flat
there's
tile,
flat,
right? And
yes.
there's a barrel type look.
Yeah, there's different styles of concrete tiles that are flat, that are a little bit like a Spanish S, but a little bit lower profile. And then there's one that they call like a double roll, so it's a smaller profile, but it looks, it has little waves. Then you have the clay tile, which, again, as long as you walk you know how to walk on it, you're good to go. It's a very, very good product. A little bit pricier than the concrete
Okay.
concrete tile, but it's and again, the tile itself, the sole purpose of the tile is to protect the paper underneath from the harmful UV rays. So water flows underneath the tiles just like it does on the top. That's why at the ends of your roof, you will see these little things, these little holes underneath the tile that are called weeping holes, so that all the water that gets underneath the tile will flow off the roof, and which is a good thing. So the sole purpose of the tile in South Florida is to protect the paper and to maintain the paper's integrity. There's been a lot of advancements with roofing materials, and with a development like what we installed in your home, which is a modified membrane self-adhered tile underlayment.
Okay.
And it's an incredible product that withstands a longer period than what the old they called it 30-90 mopped system, which was hot mopped on a steep roof. So that's installed underneath the tile. Following that, you have the shingle system, the shingle roof system. There's two typical shingles. There's a dimensional shingle that they call it architectural shingle as well. We only install that type of shingle, a dimensional shingle. And there's a lower end shingle that's called a 3-tab shingle. It's a good product, but there's a lot of inherent problems that we've experienced. I don't want to, that we've experienced based on the way that the shingle is manufactured. In a lower pitched house, it creates more problems. If the house has a higher pitch, it would be less of the problems that 3-tab shingle would have. And then, most houses have a backyard that may have a flat roof terrace or something like that. We pay a little bit more insurance for doing hot tar, using hot tar, because I grew up in that. I stand by that. I think that is the best thing for a flat roof. Right. Technology and materials are coming up, and self-adhering materials are doing better lately. But to me, I don't know. I think hot mopping for a flat roof is, it's just a multiple applies between, adhered with hot tar over, that's why they called it built up. So I think it's a great system for flat roofs. But all in all, metal, tile, shingle, and flat is, it's in its own category. But yes, that's what I believe the consensus among roofers, that should be what it is.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, in Puerto Rico, I see all that tar. In Puerto Rico, it's all flat.
Yes. But in Puerto Rico, they have the a lot of the concrete roof decks, so it's all concrete. So it's a very good roof system, but you have to just keep maintenance on it, Yeah.
All right. So one of the things here about and we talked a little bit about the permitting, but how do you ensure that your work meets building codes and regulations? I think you went into it, at each process, you look to make sure that that work is done. If you're replacing a roof, that whatever was the old code, or old things get replaced with the new code things. Anything else that I've missed?
No, we just have an on-site project manager assigned to all of our jobs, and that person is there throughout the whole project, and it's pretty much like our quality assurance. We have a checkoff sheet of different items that at every phase, because there's different phases of each roofing project, that they check off, like I said, that we've learned through the years, hey, these have been issues that we've encountered, so we want to make sure that this is checked off. And if you're actually working on the roof, it's hard for you to be the guy that's in charge of making sure that something else is getting done. So what we've employed is an actual project manager that his job is just to make sure that quality assurance is kept up, and also to guide the work of the different phases of the operation. And I think that has helped us out a lot. And we've also been able to keep our standards high,
Right. Perfect. What is a typical roof? I mean, I guess, with the size of the roof and all that, but what is the estimated timeline for completing a roof project?
I'd say a shingle roof, we're talking about probably like a 2,100 square foot home, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath. A shingle roof will probably take about, 3 to 4 days, with us. What we like to do is that when we pull a permit, we schedule a start date with the homeowner, and what we like to do is schedule everything so that we can start and finish. So there's a lot of lag time between inspections. That's why I mentioned previously that we try to schedule a couple of inspections early on so that we can continue to work. An issue that kind of, throws a wrench into that whole plan sometimes is the tile delivery. So when we have to wait for tiles, everything stops. So, but if we have the tile delivery, which is what we try to do, if the tile supplier tells me, Ruben, I'm going to have the tiles for you in 2 weeks, I will go to the homeowner and say, listen, we can start next Wednesday. It'll take me about 4 or 5 days to get the roof ready for the tiles. By the time I'm done with the inspections, the tiles will be delivered. There won't be any work on that day, probably the next day. Then when the tiles start being installed, then we get the inspector to come out again. So, 5, 7 days for a tile roof. Metal roof, it's a little bit longer, due to the fact that we have to cut each of the panels on site, and it'll probably be a whole day of cutting panels to the exact measurement. So that's probably about 10 days. I'm talking about for that type of that size of a roof, typically.
Right, smaller, right.
Yeah, 2,100 square foot home, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, nothing too large. We're talking about that time frame.
And then pray for no rain.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, that's we have to contend with the rain, down here, but we have, just like every other roofer should have precautions, and we have visqueen and plastics and tarps and stuff ready in case anything were to happen, and if it would start, which down here it does, it starts raining.
I know.
So
especially the season, right? The rainy season.
Yes.
So what kind of warranty do you provide for your work, and what does it cover?
Okay, so we provide for a roof replacement, for a steep roof, which covers a metal roof, a tile roof, a shingle roof. We provide a 10-year warranty against faulty workmanship. So basically, if we did something wrong, or if we failed to do something that we should have done within those first 10 years, and all of a sudden you have water leaking somewhere, and it's something caused by something that we did or something that we failed to do, obviously we're gonna go ahead and fix whatever it is that whole problem caused. For a flat roof, we offer a 7-year also warranty. Same thing, faulty workmanship. If we did something wrong or failed to do something, that we will cover that repair for the 7 years. For a roof repair, we have I've told you that we have a couple of different type of systems and procedures, and I guess through our work with commercial buildings, we've been able to develop different type of repair systems, I guess. And so we offer depending on the repair, a 1 to 2 year leak-free guarantee. So basically, if anything happens, most likely it won't, but you never know. The thing with leaks is that the leak can fall right here, and I go up there and I find a leak about 2 feet to the left, right? But the ceiling might have a dip right here where the leak goes. So now you might have another leak on the other side, and it just rolls down to this section and it falls. So what we do, again, you asked something about pictures earlier, and I'm sorry I didn't talk about it, but we've been able to sign up with a few different technologies and apps. And we have a picture taking system
Okay.
that also that has it through GPS. So basically, when we do a repair, again, this is mainly for commercial roofs. We do a repair. We're talking about big warehouses. So we do a repair. It actually gives me a picture of the exact GPS location of where this repair is done. So if a year later, you call me that there's a leak 2 feet away, I'll be able to tell you, yes, you do have a leak 2 feet away, but this is a brand new leak. And I won't, you don't have to take my word for it. Normally what we do is we'll try to find the origin, what caused the leak. There's sometimes that we don't know, but those are the minor times. So we try to do a pretty good investigation to at least identify the leak, the cause, and that way you'll know that, hey, this guy's not lying to me, because I'll show you, but yes.
So one thing, and it's just usually people ask, right? Like how long do roofs last, depending on the material, of course, but what is the age of the roof? So we talked about shingle, so can you give me kind of like
yes, this is a great topic, and one that is impacting us in our local area right now with insurance companies. So bottom line, in theory, a tile roof will last 20 to 25 years. Okay. And a lot of factors, play into this. Again, remember I told you the lower the slope, the greater the chances that water can get in, because water takes a longer time to flow off a roof. The steeper the roof, the water flows off quickly, so it's less of a chance for water to get in through different penetrations. So a shingle roof, insurance companies are asking people that are reaching the 15-year mark on a shingle roof to replace it. And these roofs look brand new because they have a nice pitch. There's nothing wrong with the roof, but we've replaced many roofs that are like 14 years old, and people have to replace it because the insurance companies tell them, hey, we're going to kick you out if you don't replace it. Tile roofs, I've seen, as a matter of fact, the other day, I gave a quote on a tile roof that was 37 years old. So they can last a long time, but the materials and everything, the serviceable lifespan is about 20 years for 25 years for a tile roof, about 15 years for a shingle roof. A flat roof is about 10 to 12 years. And metal, that's something that's going to be something that we're going to see what insurance companies are going to actually decide on metal roofs, because metal roofs have a warranty on the coating of the metal for about 30-35 years, that they're guaranteeing that the metal won't rust, for about 30-35 years. So if the metal roof is installed correctly and it's not rusted, that metal roof could last 50 years. But I haven't really grasped or heard what the insurance companies are saying about a lot of the metal roofs that are being installed. What's their serviceable lifespan? I don't
have metal roofs, because I know that it became like a craze, right? Everybody's changing to metal roofs or whatever. How long have metal roofs been around?
Oh, many years. Yes. They've been around for.
It just got all fancy now.
Yeah, and there's different types of metal roofs. The majority of the ones that we see here, like in Miami-Dade County, or with the exception of the Keys, is a standing seam, which is they have they have like little edges that pop up, which is where the seams, each of the panels join. In the Keys, you have what's called a 5V crimp, which it's a lower panel, and it's fastened through screws on the top. So the screws are actually exposed with gaskets to prevent the water from getting in. It's a very strong roof. The downside on that type of roof is that the screws are exposed, so the neoprene seals or gaskets, the sun will eat at those gaskets, and when that happens, you start getting water getting in there. So then you have to replace those screws and put a little bit of a thicker screw with a different gasket. But it takes some years for that to happen. Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, let's see. You've given us a lot of
Oh,
information.
sorry.
Anything that I haven't asked you that I should have asked you?
I mean, you've asked me a lot of questions. So you know, no, I feel, you know, I thank you so much for giving us the opportunity of being here and talking to your audience. And you know, if there's anything that I can help you with, like I tell everybody, I give a quote to, and I say, listen, even if you don't go with us, like you mentioned it, you said it, and I tell people the same thing. Listen, we are not the most expensive, but we're definitely not the cheapest, but we're definitely not the most expensive. But I understand we are not the roofers for everybody. But if I'm here, most likely it's because somebody referred you to referred me to you.
Right.
So you know, I'd say, I know it's a cliche of like over 90% of our customers are from referrals, but it's true, you know, it is true. Just like you know, we've been in the same community, and you know, we know a lot of people, and you know, like referral partners. Anybody asks me about you know, about real estate, I'll send them to you, you know, because I know that you're going to take care of them. So so if somebody has called us for an estimate, I will tell them, and I tell them, we may not be your roofer, but use me when you get a quote that you think you like. Call me afterwards, even if you don't go with me, and tell me, hey, Ruben, I have this quote. What do you think about it? And I will give you my honest opinion. I already know that you're not going with me, you know, so I will tell you there's a lot of different things that I can do. I can check the permits and on open permits. So if there's a company that has 8, 9, 10 open permits, and at any given time, either they're very, very large, or you can tell that these permits have been open for several months. What does that say? That means that their financial stability is a little bit shaky. So they're probably using your deposit to finish a job 3 or 4 times before yours. So again, some companies do different you know, their workflow is different. We like to start and finish, you know, if we can do it based on the estimate, the inspections and everything. Other companies come in, tear off, leave for a long time. I don't particularly like that, because you know, the homeowner is left there with a roof half done. Yeah, yeah, at least get it watertight, you know. But I'll check for that. I'll check for open permits. I'll check for complaints. I'll check for, you know, things like that it's easy for me to look. You can do it too, you know, but you can, you know, in the industry, hey, this is happening. You know, this roofer, they cut his you know, account at the supplies. So all those things.
Yeah, everybody talks.
Everybody talks.
You can tell.
And I would hate it for, you know, and I am sorry if any roofer sees this. I'm sorry. I'm sure that if they're watching this, they're thinking the same thing as I'm saying, and I'm about to say. It would be a shame if anybody that would call me for an estimate, I wouldn't tell that to, because I feel like, you know, you're calling me from somebody that we both know, and I don't want you to get, you know, scammed on something like that, which unfortunately it happens.
Right.
Try to get somebody that has, you know, the company that you're actually writing a contract with. Make sure that that's the company that actually is pulling the permit, you know, that's actually a qualifier. Those are just little signs that you know, you'll be, you know, at least you'll be like, whoa, okay. You look at the contract. Are they including everything? You know, a common practice, which I hate to say, but it is what it is. They ask the homeowner, has anybody come out to give you a price? And the homeowner may say, no, I have 2 or 3 more people. They already know, oh, you know what, I have to bid low. But what they do is they get you with the wood replacement clause, you know, and once you sign, you might end up paying more than what you would have if you would have gone with another roofer, you know. Just different things like that. And it's a shame to say it, but again, we're talking about your customers and your client base, and you know, I'm just trying to help you out with as much information as I can.
I appreciate that, because there's things that we need to be on the lookout for, and I'm not a roofer, so I would not even know where to start. So that, again, I go to the person that's the professional, because they can hopefully guide me the right way, right? I do have one last question here. What do you enjoy most about the roofing business?
It's gonna sound crazy, but the smell of hot tar.
It doesn't sound crazy.
I burned my hands when I was 14 years old, and I was out of commission for about a year with hot tar and in an accident. But the smell of the hot tar, I hardly tell everybody, but I love it. It brings me back such.
You're telling
beautiful
everybody,
memories.
whoever's going to listen to it, now they know. Ruben
Yes,
likes
yes,
the
yes.
smell of hot tar. I love it. I love it. And one thing that I did ask before we started is that if anybody's watching here and is looking to replace a roof, or if we recommend, Teams Out of 8 recommends someone to you, that you'll give them a $500 off the full replacement of the roof.
Yes, definitely,
Correct?
definitely,
Right.
yes.
So you guys heard
definitely.
it. If you get, ARC Roofing to come out, and it's from watching this video, or Teams Out of 8 sent you over, you get $500 off.
Most definitely, yes.
Right.
Yes.
I appreciate that. Well, Ruben, thank you. Give a kiss to all your beautiful
Thank you.
girls, because you got lots of girls, no boys there.
And you too. You got lots of children.
Lots of children.
Mom
Thank
of
you
8.
so much. Mom of 8, that's right. Thank you so much for your
No,
time.
thank you.
And
Thank you
have
very
a
much.
wonderful day.
Take care. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.